Hey, welcome to the table. I forgot to grab the top of the box. Today we're going to cover Descent: Legends of the Dark. Now I know I've been doing Stars of Icarios. I still have it underneath this table, actually, right underneath this lid here. It is still set up. I honestly don't know if I'm going to continue. Again, I apologize because I like to finish the stuff I start. But that one, in all honesty, was going to take me months and months to finish. My son is going to be coming home soon, and he wants to resume the campaign with me. And so I'm very likely going to be tearing that up. And it's a very difficult game to save when you have multiple playthroughs at the same time. Anyways, I'm not trying to make excuses, but the other part of it is that this game arrived. I've been wanting to try it for a while, and here we go. Also, as an announcement, I'm doing I'm using a new microphone. I've tested it; it seems to work. My only gripe is that this particular microphone seems to be really loud. So you'll have to let me know how that looks for you, and also it seems to pick up a lot of ambient noise, meaning you're going to hear everything else going on in my house. And sometimes I'm quite ashamed at what might be going on in this house with kids playing online games and shouting at their friends or whatever. But anyways, yeah, and you just probably heard my dog chasing her tail. Okay, so you actually see Scenario 1 is actually, this is the end of Scenario 1. We're going to eventually unlock all of that. Now, when you start playing, the map reveals itself over time. And you're not going to know exactly how, this plays out. But, so what you're seeing here is like super cheaty, right? Because, none of this is known when you start the first mission. And once we go to mission 2, I promise you, I've never seen it. I basically played one mission because I wanted to make sure I had the rules figured out and that I was comfortable enough with this to do a playthrough. That's one more. That's a lot more effort than I usually put into a game. I mean, I've been very unafraid to hit record without me ever playing a drop of the game. So this particular one, I think I got most of the kinks worked out. If you guys find any issues or anything, let me know. I mean, it's always possible I'm going to do a brain fart. Yeah, let's just jump in. Now, normally I do a setup and then a playthrough, but we're actually going to just start playing on this one. There's really not a lot to set up. I mean, I know it looks like I got a lot set up here, but that's just because I finished playing the last scenario, or the scenario we're going to start, right? So I played through the whole scenario and then just left it set up. There's a portion here that we're going to have to redo because this thing became quite the table hog. The largest thing, if you are setting up your game and you're wondering, about some stuff, these are all the 3D pieces, and everything on this you had to assemble yourself. Was it easy to assemble? It was middle. I don't know what else to say. Like you're going to have some spots where you're going to be like, huh? But it did seem to all click. My best advice is when you're looking at the sheets, the cardboard sheets when they arrive, don't just punch everything and then try to assemble everything. Like there's certain pieces that like the pieces that made this well, they were all next to each other on the punch board. And so I was able to fully assemble this thing without, punching all the other pieces out. So I knew that all these pieces went to the well. Now, there are a couple pieces like this, these pillars here. Those were scattered. Like, you had to basically punch all the boards before I finally had enough pieces to put this together. So there's certain things that were easy to do and certain things that were not. As for the tiles, I just have them sorted. On the top, you can see it's tile 1, and it goes all the way down to tile X, whatever that is. Right now it says 15, but I know it goes higher because I have a bunch already out here. You're going to have some some bits. You just sort those and put them out. You're going to have to assemble your little wheel, which this is a great improvement in any game. Way better than trying to put life points on and off. That's it. You're going to start the game with 4 heroes. It doesn't fully tell you which ones, but it will once you start the actual game. So this game does require an app. So we're going to have to deal with that. And I'm launching that right now. Now, the app is a battery burner. So for my my iPad here, I have it plugged in. You can see right here, it's plugged into my PC. I could actually use my PC. I thought about it. Because I can actually make the PC screen be one of the sources of the video. It's probably not the worst idea in the world, but I'm using that for my camera, and to be quite honest, all my audio problems I tie to my PC being old, and so I'm a little nervous. Now, you can hear that the music is on, and I can maybe turn that down a little bit. And let's just go ahead and get started. Everything you need to know, you can just learn as you go. We're going to go ahead and do a new campaign. And we're going to call it Jeff Tube. All right, we're going to do regular standard difficulty. I'm not brave enough to do harder difficulty if I don't know what the heck I'm doing yet. All right. So there's some story here.
The dragon lords 3 times has Terranol been brought to the brink of war, and 3 times have great heroes risen to save it, but those heroes are gone, and the evil has returned. The first of Terranol's 12 vanities has fallen to the alone. The council dispatched a great army to meet the threat, sending the Ahur scattering. But what was a single enemy they came out? As impossible to fight, but still as deadly as fire. Once again, darkness gathers. Ahur stalk was the undead must come, and another old enemy gathers its strength as the memories fade.
Oh, so sorry. I was off getting a drink of water. I went to the bathroom. Okay, so you see we got a small caravan. I am not going to read for you. Just go ahead. I did that for Acarios, and I'm ready to retire. This isn't very interesting, this part. Basically, this guy is your social leader. He's the one that comes up with the icebreaker to force everybody else to talk who doesn't want to talk. Oh, I went too fast. He just basically said it doesn't matter. He's your emo. This is the emo dude right here. Let's play a guessing game. See, like he's like Mr. Icebreaker. Oh, and I don't know if I've ever seen any significance to this. So you're guessing you are a hardened mercenary. You're a runaway princess fleeing an arranged marriage. The name's Bryn. I actually thought it was a male, to be honest. I mean, even when you look at the picture, the artwork in this game sucks, by the way. I really don't like the artwork. I mean, look at that. It's too anime for me, which isn't fully anime, but it's too much. Let's get the gripes I have about this game. There are some things I really don't like about this game, and why it's probably not going to be better than Descent 2, but I'm giving it a shot. The first one is the art. I don't care for it as much. The second one is I like classic dungeon romp archetypes. I want a fighter, a cleric, a wizard. I want the classic stuff. This game is not doing that. It's very across the board, and it very much disappoints me in that regard. Now, Dungeon Universalis had your standard ones, but then it also had like vampires and ogres and trolls. Like, it had other stuff, but it still had the basic stuff, so therefore I was satisfied. The third thing, and the one that I'm going to gripe about the most, is this game has this concept where you flip. So, like, this guy has two weapons equipped at the same time, and he flips back and forth like this. And the mechanic for flipping just drives me nuts. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in a board game. And that's saying a lot, because I've seen a lot of stupid stuff. But this is near the most stupid. And I like the idea of equipping an axe, and that's all I have is an axe. And if I want to, dual hand or dual wield, I can do that. I this whole flipping thing is it makes me flipping angry. That's what it does. I'm still looking past it and going to try to like this game. But the flipping thing, it's beyond. It's almost like the D-Day Omaha or D-Day Iwo Jima removing the dots from the D-Day series maps. It's at that level of stupidity. Anyways, for this here, I don't know why one choice matters over another. So I guess it's just for comedic purposes. I don't know. I'm just going to say hardened mercenary just because I don't want a fleeing princess in my party. And then, of course, no matter what answer you give, they basically tell you, your smoke pot. So, this is like your resident therapist here. So then we get to Galadin, which is your ranger type, I guess. I mean, he's got the elven ears, even though he looks like an elf with a disease. That's the thing I don't like about it. I mean, look at this guy. He looks emaciated. There's people who come out of Auschwitz that look better than that. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible. It's just it's ugly art. I don't care for it. He looks like he's a meth addict. That's probably the better way to put it. Okay. He's writing a travelogue. He's hunting the White Hart. Yeah, let's do that. And then, of course, the guy says, I don't even know what the heck a White Hart is. I did find that funny. The story in this is actually shaping up to be okay. This part of the story is boring. Then we have Varix. He's a dragon. Oh, there's my son. Oh, for everybody to see. Whoops. Oh, there we go. All right. Sorry about that. So he says, leave me out of this. Searching for something. So his wings got torn to shreds. So he's looking for revenge. And his reasons are private. So again, all right, maybe I will read more of this as we go. This was extremely boring, this part. Just download the app and start the game, even if you don't own it, and you can see this dialogue. So don't worry about that. So Galadin says, do I see lights in the tower? And then it's one of the barony's watchtowers. Caravan settles down. Surely they will be safe. And then we're going to do all 4 characters. I mean, only wimps do less than 4 characters. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Whoops, I got to hit confirm. Okay, now this is the part that's interesting. Even though we're near a watchtower, we should set a watch. Any volunteers? So my logic was, and I don't know how well you could read this, but it says Bryn the warrior, stalwart warrior, Cyrus the shrewd mage, Barracks the weathered outcast, or Galadin the keen-eyed hunter. Okay, if you're setting somebody to watch, wouldn't you pick the keen-eyed guy over everybody? I would. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just pick the keen-eyed hunter. All right. So let's talk characters for a bit. Varix here is so far shaping up to be the cleric type, but a cleric who can do some decent damage. Some clerics can't do damage. Some clerics are more focused on buffing and debuffing. This one does damage, some pretty good damage. He is a dragon hybrid, so you would expect that. Now, there's 2 sides to everything, including the player sheet, and they literally do flip, 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 flip. It's that mechanic I was telling you I don't like, but they have movement, health. This is the die they roll when they're attacking, the die they roll when they're defending, and then these are their stats. This right half of the panel it doesn't change when you flip. The part that changes when you flip is right here, this part. So you do have a skill, and then you have what they call a surge, this little lightning bolt. And if you've played previous Descent games, that should look familiar. When you roll a die, you're going to potentially get a lightning bolt on it, which is you see here at the bottom. That's a surge. The star is a success, and then the plus is what they call advantage. We'll get into all those in a bit, but basically, if you roll a lightning bolt, you get to do whatever that lightning bolt says. And sometimes you'll have multiple lightning bolts to choose from, and you get to pick which one. That is what made the original Descent, Descent 2, fantastic. In fact, to me, it wasn't ever broken, so it never deserved to be fixed. So I'm glad they kept some of that in this. And then every character has 2 weapons equipped. Like this one has a warbell and a spear, and both are equipped at the same time. And what's crazy is I think you can even see it in the miniature. Like there's the spear. I don't know where the warbell's hiding, but anyways, it's So when you start the game, you have to decide which side is going to be face up. Now, there's going to be times where you're going to be forced to flip these cards, and then there's times you're going to want to flip these cards. So, but with Varix, I know that this is an attractive side for 2 fatigue. That's what this little teardrop looks like. For 2, this side can hold 3 fatigue. You can put 2 fatigue on him, and during your attack, it'll add 1 surge. And then, of course, the surge is it adds a success, and anybody can discard a condition. That's pretty good. However, the side that is most attractive to me is Respite. And he is basically the cleric side. For 2 fatigue, we're going to, during your turn, he can heal somebody 2 health. That is, to me, far more attractive. And then the surge is still the same. And then as far as the weapons go, the spear is pretty good. It can pierce and enfeeble the enemy. Or you got this little warbell, which is basically a mace. Again, cleric, right? During your attack, add 2 successes and expose the enemy. Now, they give you this player aid here. So enfeeble means that the enemy will do less damage. And then this one was what? Expose? Expose means that we do 20% extra damage. So both of those are really good. Which one do we start with? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to start with the spear. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be healing, spear, cleric mode. Ultra cleric, right? Then we go here, and this guy looks like a mage, does he not? But really what he is he's a human prodigy, and then this is actually flame with a bird. so it's a Firebird type of thing that's with him, called the Phoenix. And I'm choosing the wand because it has a range of 4, or otherwise he's getting up close and personal and he has to do melee attacks. I don't like the melee attacks. We're doing the wand. So we're going to use him like a true mage. And then the side of this is the harder decision. So an enemy in line of sight suffers 2 successes, or 2 damage for each fatigue on this card. Then flip this card. And then if you flip it, after you roll, you can convert 1 advantage to 2 successes. That's actually really good too. They're both good. I'm actually going to use Empower. So we're going to start on that side. Then we come over to here. This is Bryn, your classic fighter type. So we can choose the blade or the hammer. And we're going to choose the hammer. So we're going to crush. I actually really like this blade. But I learned about the weaknesses of some of these creatures, and this might actually be worth starting with. So for 2 fatigue, you can add a success. After this attack, you may move the enemy 1 space away from you. You know what? This is really nice. If you're adjacent to another hero, you get to add 1 success. But we'll go ahead and do the hammer. And then this one was Steady Defense. I actually preferred this side over Outmaneuver. We haven't talked about all the skills very much, but Shift is basically when you're next to an enemy, you're engaged, and you lose all your movement points. They don't call it engaged in this game, though. They call it something else. I don't remember what the word was. Engaged is the word they should have used, but they didn't. So whatever that something else is, Shift allows you to move while you're engaged. So basically, you can move around an enemy when you're shifting. Otherwise, when you're engaged with them, you have no choice but to lose all your movement points. And if you do a move command from there, you only get 1 single movement point. So this would let you move 3 times. You could basically go completely around the enemy if you wanted to do that. But the Steady Defense is the more attractive one. These enemies punch hard. You definitely need better defense in this game. And then lastly, we got Galadin. It's not an exciting weapon, but I chose the bow because the bow is better than melee. It shoots with a range of 4. And then as far as like which side, this one exposes enemies, and then this one just lets him shift, which we don't want him to be engaged. We want him to be a range fighter anyway. So we're going to go ahead and expose the enemies instead. And that word will come to me eventually. I was looking on the little cheat sheet here, and I don't see it anywhere on here. But it'll be in the rules reference, in fact, which is down here. They have all the different actions or keywords in the game, and impede. Impede is the word. So you're impeded. That whenever you heard me say the word engage, it was actually impede is what they meant. And then they got like a nice little diagram. The app is fantastic. So I know some of you grog nerds out there don't like apps. And you're nuts, first of all. I don't like AIs that take 30 minutes to implement. And the fact that I got an AI here to play a favorite board game of mine, I'm ecstatic. This is, to me, the perfect blend of solitaire gaming. The perfect solution of solitaire gaming is to have an app. So anyways, the app is good. And I know, like, the classic thing people say is, well, the, software goes out of date. And then, 20 years from now, when I want to play this game, I won't be able to because I'm going to be relying on outdated software. Dark Tower came out in 1981. It was sold by Sears, Roebuck and Company. and it was only sold until 1982. So for one single year, they sold the game Dark Tower. And to this very day, I can get on the internet and find the original source code of Dark Tower, plus dozens, if not multiple dozens, of people who have translated the Dark Tower code and have emulators, simulators, apps, and oh my gosh, there is a Return to Dark Tower board game that just came out that's even got the original Dark Tower inside of it. I just, that comment that software dies and never gets maintained or supported, it's just baloney, absolute baloney. The Zork. Some of you don't even know what the game Zork is. Go ahead, Google it. Say, I want to play Zork right now. And I guarantee you'll find multiple sites that will let you play Zork. And if you've never heard of Zork, try it. It was good for its time. It's not that good anymore. But yeah, Zork. Go for it. I guarantee you could still play Zork. And the only way you used to be able to play Zork back in the day was on a mainframe in college. So, all right. With all that said, let's play the game. So basically, we have to pick who's going to go and watch. And I'm going to pick Galadin, because like I said, I'm going to pick the keen-eyed person to do the watch. And so he says, I'll take first watch, blah, blah, blah. And now he's on watch. And so then the game says that the night passes uneventfully. He spots movement not far, in the dark, shapes too sinister. Something is not right. So this is like, when it goes brown like this is tutorial. Basically, it's just saying, welcome. We're not going to read it. So now it's saying place tile 10B and a water underlay. Now you're going to see I actually have some water underlay already there, but the game actually starts a lot closer to us. And I have all these tiles here, and right there is 10B. Now the funniest thing I ever read was this other YouTube channel called Dungeon Dive. They watched my Dungeon Universalis game playthrough. And it's largely because Dungeon Dive's in bed with the designer. They do stuff there, like helping the designer edit his rulebook. There's nothing that they're doing wrong. Dungeon Dive is doing a good service to humanity by helping the Dungeon Universalis guy write English better. But with that being said, he came over here and became a bit of a fan, not of me, but of the game, and started to defend it, because I said that the game took too long to set up the scenario. I found 10B within 2 seconds, and he made the argument that Dungeon Universalis was average for setup time, and it was no different than this game. This was one of the games that he mentioned. 2 seconds was all the longer it took me to grab this. There's no way Dungeon Universalis is even on par with this. The guy spoke hot. And it's like, dude, I know you want to defend the developer and all that stuff. I mean, Dungeon Universalis is not that bad of a game. The rules are too bloaty, but still, there was no reason to lie. And he lied. Anyways, what they're asking us to do is to set this out like so. And then they want us to do a water underlay, which it's going to blend with this at some point, but I don't know when. And a water underlay is just going to look like this. And you can see that, now it looks like there's water out there. And then you got this. And you see how that looks. So basically it's saying to do the same thing, which we did. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And then it's explaining stuff again. Basically, water, you can move through water, but it costs an extra movement point every time you're leaving the water space. All right, so then it's saying place some site tokens. I know you probably can't read this very well, but I'm just trying to get through this. So we're going to place 2 site tokens there and there. And basically, a hero can move up to it, and then they automatically do the site thing. It's free. It's not an actual action. All right, and then the Galadin got placed here. And then it's saying that the others will be placed later. And Galadin is placed here. It does have a reverse function, so I was clicking too fast. So we grab two of these, and one goes here, and one goes there. And basically, all he has to do is go next to one of these, and he can see. And it reveals something else. So basically, we have an objective, investigate the darkness around the lake. And now it's saying, it's the hero's phase. All right, so we only have one character in the game at the moment. It's this guy. And let's go over real quick. What do you get to do on your turn? The player aid could not be any simpler. So during your turn, you perform one maneuver and 2 additional actions. So you get to do 3 actions total, but one of those actions is always a maneuver. And they can be done in any order. It's not like you have to do the maneuver first, nothing like that. And basically, a maneuver gets you movement points equal to your speed. What is your speed? It's this right here. You can see my finger. See that little green symbol? That's your maneuver. So this guy gets to move 3. Galadin can move 4. All right. So we got all right. Now, if you've played the other Descent games, this is very similar. He has 4 movement points because remember, you always get a maneuver. So no matter what, you always have 4 movement points. And then he's going to gain 2 additional actions. He can move any number of spaces and do one or both of those actions and then continue to move. Like the interrupting his movement to do these other actions does not end his movement. So it is the most brilliant thing FFG's ever done. And I'm really glad that they kept that. If FFG could use their movement rules and combine it with Dungeon Universalis's way of placing traps when you enter a room, oh my gosh, would that not be the perfect game? It really would. If I could take pieces of Dungeon Universalis, get rid of all the stupid rules, but the pieces that were brilliant in that game, and then add it to the brilliance of this game and get rid of the stupid flippity flip, it would truly be the unicorn of games. It really would. But alas, nobody's listening to me or watching my channel. Okay. During your turn, you may perform 1 maneuver, 2 additional actions. Real quick. Explore interacts with a terrain or token. This is not an explore action. This is an automatic thing. Explore is this. That's the explore action. Okay? And then another thing that would be explore is, I want to look inside the well. That would be an explore action. Okay? All right. Fight, which just makes sense. And then flip a card is a freaking action in this game. Flipping a card. Ready to flip the table. And then any unique action that's given to you by a card. And that's none of our... But anyways, it could be an action that's on a card. We don't have any yet, I don't believe. We will soon. We will soon. And then it tells you, like, when you roll the dice, these are the results. It's a wonderful player aid. And then on the back, it tells you what all the different tokens do. And then even what the different statuses are. Again, FFG, awesome job. I mean, the entire game rule set is on one tiny card that you can flip to either side. I mean, it really is. Okay, so he has 4 movement points. We're going to go ahead and go 1, 2, and then this gets revealed. Now, the way the app works is you grab his picture and you have to drag it up to where you're revealing, right? So we're revealing the right side. So boom, there it is. And then the one thing you're not getting to see is this. Clouds roll in, blocking out what little light the moon provided. It was no matter as seeing in the dark feels second nature. Discard this site token. And then it's saying 4B and 11B need to come out. And then 2 water underlays, right? So now here's where it's getting interesting. 11B is already out. So that just means that this scoots up like so. and I'm just missing 4B. I'm actually missing a little bit more than just 4B, but for what we see right now, it looks just like that. Okay? So yeah, on the game, that's all we know about. But clearly you can see it opens up into this whole other world, right? So you're sort of cheating a bit, right? I'm showing you more than you're supposed to know at this time. But if you've watched any of the other playthroughs of this before you've come to this channel, you already know what this is. So everybody's done this scenario. This is like the most overdone scenario ever. But anyways, you have no choice but to do the scenario. So we got the out, we got the water lays in place. And then what it's saying is we need to put a tree. So let's go grab a tree. If you could be a tree, what type of tree would you be? It'd be this one. This one right here. All right. And it's basically explaining you can interact with terrain and you'll get crafting materials. And it's saying to put out another site token, which looks like it will be 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put the camera down. I think you get the gist of how. All right, so now it's telling us to place a bandit. And I do think this is interesting because I don't think it was a bandit last time. So this is what a bandit is. And a couple of things. Right there, you can see it's saying place a bandit, and it's showing where to place it. And then you can see the bandit there has an orange symbol, like to the left of it, right? So this is another brilliant aspect of this game, is the bandit looks like this, which, so when you had the original Descent, 1 or 2, second edition, you had enemy cards that had pictures of the enemies on them. The app here, that picture of the bandit is so tiny, it's really hard to know that this is the miniature that goes with that. Very big gripe. I can't find the miniature that goes with the picture. But once you find it, and you're like, okay, I think this is the bandit, then it showed orange, because there could be multiple bandits, so you have different colors, right, to show which one. That's not a novel concept. The novel concept is, see that little hole in the bottom? It's a Lego. So you just take this and you plug it in just like you would a Lego. Isn't that awesome? And then for colorblind people, they have these little notches. I don't know if it's going to zoom in properly. Come on, zoom in. Focus. Focus, pizza. All right, so see how that has 2 notches? And that has 4. That has a bazillion. And that has 1. So the picture actually has 2 notches. So you can line up the 2 notches here with the front. And then now you have... I'm doing it wrong. Like this. There we go. Look at that. It pops in just like a Lego. So freaking awesome. That's brilliant. It's just a Lego. It's basically a Lego. And then it has the 2 notches. So if you're colorblind and you can't see orange very well, then you can just look for the notches. I don't need to worry about the colorblind part, but like it's such a brilliant thing. And you know, as much as I hate our culture of making people use proper pronouns, there is some good that comes out of this awareness of others, and this is one of them. The pronoun thing is going too far, but this is just right. And it's the porridge and the Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Pronouns, that's too hot. Being a bigot is too cold. Having notches in the orange is just right. That's the way life should be. Okay. And then we got a berserker. Yeah, this is totally not like what we were doing in the past. I had a zealot last time I did this, so they are spawning different creatures. Now, one thing I don't like is that Berserker has the same number of notches, according to the colorblind thing, but let's see, he's 1, 2, 3 spaces back, and he's there. So there's the 2 spawns. It's saying you are under attack. Hero may perform a fight action against an enemy within range and line of sight. To learn more about the fight action, look at the in-rules reference. And then your companions jump into action. So we have to defeat the enemy. During each phase, heroes take a turn. After Galadin finishes his turn, I must have missed it, but the companions get to start in these locations. So I'm going to go 1 here, here, and there. So basically, they start back here. But Galadin has to finish his turn first. So a couple cardinal rules. All the heroes go in any order you'd like, but one hero has to completely finish their turn before the next hero can go. So it's not super flexible, just a little bit flexible. The second thing is, like I said, 1 movement, 2 actions. You can repeat the same action, so you can go and fight if you want. There was a third thing that was popping in my mind as we were setting this up with the enemies, but it'll come to me later. I don't remember what it is now. I remember. So you do get to interact with the tree. So there's like multiple things you can do at a tree besides pee on one, and so a hero can go and do that. This game so far is a little kind. Like I said, I only did this one scenario, but it's very kind from the perspective that, with Dungeon Universalis or even with the Descent or the Imperial Assault app, there's always this threat meter that like builds up, and if you take too long, it's eventually going to, constantly throw enemies at you until you die. This game doesn't seem to do that. So that part's a little bit of a relief. Anyways, the thing I was just remembering is line of sight. So line of sight in this game basically is center of your square of any of your edges to the center of any of their edges. And as long as nothing's blocking it, you're fine. And only objects like trees could block it. Like other characters do not block line of sight. And it's very, very simple. Now, the game does have, so you can see like my character is sitting right here. It does have a pretty cool feature where is it? Line of sight. So I can choose where he's standing right there, and you can see the red is melee range. The orange is if you have reach, like the spear, and then all the yellows are within line of sight. So the only thing that's not in his line of sight is this spot right in front of that tree. He can basically hit the entire map right now. Isn't that cool? It's all built into the app. That's fantastic. You never have to argue with your friends ever again. All right, I need to grab caffeine. I will be right back. Okay, I am back. I'm hoping that the audio is better for you guys. We're going to find out very soon. So I'm going to turn the music on this down a little bit. Just because I don't need the music from the app dominating things too much. Okay, so we have to finish Galadin's turn. Remember, I only moved 2 spaces, so I got 2 more spaces to go. I'm going to move 1 more space, and I'm going to stop right here, and we're going to shoot this guy twice. Now, my arrows go 4 spaces. I'm choosing to only be 3 spaces away. There's a reason, but it's not super exciting, but the largest one is that as long as the enemy is 3 or more spaces away from me, I can reduce the ability's cost by 1. So it only costs me 1 to use this ability. And I could choose to do this 4 spaces away. Knowing what I know about bandits, maybe I should. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to shoot him twice, like this. We're going to just let the game play out. Okay, so now the way this works, app-wise, is I need to... Whoops, I just popped my camera off the pod. So my apologies there. I need to lift this up a little bit. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to grab, point, and then drag it to the enemy that you're attacking. Okay? The other thing you can do is you can click on this button here, and then you just have the enemies here. And you can do the same thing and say, I'm attacking the bandit, which is exactly what we're doing. And then, by the way, once you get past that first screen, it gives you a really nice picture of the miniature here. So if you were in doubt, you don't have to worry once you get to this screen. That's a way better representation of the miniature than that. So anyways, this guy's got 17 health. He has 1 armor. The way armor is represented in this game is it's a random armor. So he has a random chance of blocking 1 damage. If it was 3 armor, he has a random chance of blocking anywhere from 0 to 3 damage. So, anyways. And then he has 2 weaknesses that we have to discover. So let's go ahead and attack him. We have to say, what are we attacking him with? We're attacking him with the bow. And then we have to put the number of successes in. And then after we do this, he shifts 2 spaces away from the hero. So that's a bit of a problem. But we're going to go ahead and do this. Now, it's saying here in the top corner that it does 2 damage. Now, you can also confirm that. I'm going to put the camera down. I'm going to confirm that here. That does 2 damage. The bow is one of the weakest weapons in the game. I guess they assume because you're shooting, you get range attack, so therefore it has to be weak. I'll give it that much. The Galadin card himself says that on an attack, he rolls a blue die. So we happen to have a blue die right here. So we roll it, and then we see that we got a success and an advantage. Now, the success is real simple. You just come over here and you put 1 success in. Okay? Don't do anything else yet. And then we get to now look at the skills and abilities and apply them. So the advantage, all that means is I have to take a fatigue token, and as long as I'm willing to put it on one of my cards, then I can turn that advantage into another success. So I'm going to put it here for now, because I got a couple things I want to do. This one says, for 3 fatigue, I can expose an enemy in my line of sight. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put 3 fatigue on him. So we're going to expose this bandit. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And then for that 1 fatigue that turns the other thing into a success, I'll put it on the bow. And you can see here that this 2 means I can have at most 2 fatigue. And then this means I can have at most 3 fatigue. So there's a limit to how much fatigue you can put on. And if you ever need to put more fatigue than you have space for, then you have to take a damage. And yes, when you take fatigue, you can put it anywhere. Now here, when you're taking 3 fatigue, you have to put it on this card. Now this ability normally costs 2 fatigue, but like I said, as long as I'm 3 spaces away, its ability cost is reduced by 1. So I'm basically maxing out on fatigue here to do this particular attack, but this adds 1 more success, and then we added another success because of the advantage. And then this lets me expose him. And just to remind you, expose means that we get plus 20% attack damage. So for us, that we're only doing 2 attack damage, we get to add 20% to that. That's not super exciting, but it's better than nothing. So we get to add 1 more because of the bow skill. We get to add 1 more because of the advantage that we did. And then we click on status here, and we can say we exposed him. So that means that the game's going to calculate how much damage we did and apply it to the 17. And it's also going to calculate the armor. So I'm going to hit confirm. And there you can see we just did 10 damage to him. So we did 2 damage with each attack. So that should have only been 6. Let's see, 2, 4. Yeah, we should only have done 6 damage. Now, you can click on this and it'll explain to you. So see there, we did 6 damage. And it's times 3. Why was it times 3 when we only do 2 damage? That is because you can see here, one of his weaknesses got exposed. He's weak to pierce. So basically, arrows can take him down, the bandit. So he got an extra +3 damage because of weakness. So, and then he got +2 more damage because he was exposed. So we did 9 damage, and then that extra 20% gave him 2 more. And he actually blocked 1, or otherwise he would have taken 11 damage. All right? So he's taking 10 damage. Oops. I don't know why my camera screws up sometimes. Never mind. All right. Okay, and then there is an ability reminder. This part you have to remember to do. After the attack, the enemy shifts 2 spaces away from the hero. So obviously it's up to us to resolve that. But the hero's here, so he's going to go 1, 2 like that. And then we're going to finish our turn. Remember, we got 1 more movement left, so we can move forward 1 space. So I'm going to move over to here. So I'm next to the tree. And then here you can see I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away. And my bow does 4 damage. So I'm going to attack him again. And here you can see I got a success, but that advantage requires me to have room for a fatigue, and I don't have any room for fatigue at all. I'm fully fatigued out. I got 3 on my main card, and I got 2 on my thing. So I'm only going to be able to get 1 success in. But I'm going to go ahead and hit continue, and then we're going to attack 1 last time, and we're going to do the bow again, but this time I was only able to hit him once. Then he's going to shift 2 more away from the hero. And there you can see I did 3 damage, and he's down to 4 health. And so I'm going to put the camera down. 1, 2 more. He's really far away now. All right. So the next thing, his turn's over. Now we get to go. And I'm just hitting continue on the app. And what I'm going to do is with this dude, I'm going to move 1, 2 with Bryn, and we're going to expose this. Grab the camera again, bring you around. Go ahead and do that. It says the pathway around the lake becomes clear. Discard both sight tokens. So the other one gets removed too. Then we put 5B out. Oh, look at that dungeon dive. I found my piece within 2 seconds. And another tree comes out. This one in the corner. And then a wolf. Also orange. They like their orange in this scenario. And it's what? 2 spaces in front of the tree. Now, in case you're wondering, you can spin it. It's a little hard sometimes with my fingers to do, but it is possible. And then, yeah, now we got 3 enemies on the board. And let's come back over. I had moved 2 spaces, and it just works out perfectly. I can go 3, and then 4, and then now I'm next to the wolf. So I'm going to go ahead and use my 2 attack actions on the wolf. And remember, I got this warhammer. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. Flip it over to this. I'm going to take her and attack the wolf. I'm going to use the weighted warhammer. And it says, after the attack, this enemy shifts 1 space towards you. Then if it's adjacent to you, you suffer 1 damage. So no matter what, we're going to take damage from this attack. All right. So Bryn, her attack is a black die. Black dice don't have a lot of surges on them. Those lightning bolts, in fact, I don't think they have any. Well, there's one. One side. And so I rolled 2 successes, which is really poor. There's a lot more on this. So we have 2 successes. I just punched those in right now. And we do 3 damage with each success. This wolf has 24 health, by the way, and 1 shield. So we did 2 successes. The primary card doesn't do anything for us. This card says, during your attack, add 1 success, and then you may move the enemy 1 space away from you, and I can do it for 2 fatigue. I'm going to go ahead and do that. It doesn't do an awful lot, but I'll add it anyways, just so I can get a 3rd success, which is 9 damage. So right there's 3, and then we're going to go ahead and hit confirm. And you can see I just did 9 damage to him, and it's straight up just 9 damage, 0 was blocked. All right, so then we get to knock him back 1 space. But then he just moves back forward because of the enemy ability, and we take 1 damage. So I'm going to go from 10 down to 9 health. All right. Then we're going to attack again. And so we're going to just go ahead and roll. I rolled a 2 again, which is not super exciting. And that's all the success I'm going to get this time. So come back over to here. Attack again. 1, 2. And then I did 6 damage. And again, he's going to do 1 damage to me. So Bryn is now down to 8. Okay, next hero. We're going to go ahead and use Varix. And he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, adjacency in this game is diagonal. And Varix has the ability that for 2 fatigue, he can heal anybody, including who's next to him, for 2 health. So he's going to do that, and he's going to heal Bryn back up to 10. So she's back to full health. And then he has reach, which means he can hit an animal 2 spaces away. So he's going to attack the wolf. He's going to use his spear. And then for him, he gets to roll the blue die. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And all he rolled was a lightning bolt. So a lightning bolt for him is, during your attack, add 2 success and enfeeble the enemy, or add 1 success and any hero may discard 1 condition. So he's got 2 choices. We're going to choose the one up here. And so he's going to enfeeble. Now, enfeeble means that their attack is reduced, and he gets 2 successes. So he did 5 damage, and yeah, it's going to shift and then do 1 damage. So it's going to move forward, and now Varix just took 1 damage, so he's down to 7 health. And then we're going to go ahead and attack again. And this time I got the lightning bolt again. We're going to do the same thing, just two successes. That should do it. And 6 damage, killed the wolf, and the wolf is gone. That's not to say he didn't do damage to us, but we did our part. And now that bandit and that other guy is so far away, it's not even funny. All right. Last but not least, we have this guy. I just did something wrong, folks. Varix can only move 3 spaces. And so I had him set up. I moved both of these guys 1 space further than they both only get to move 3 spaces, and I moved them 4. So I'm going to assume, yeah, I screwed up. I gave them both 1 extra action, or 1 extra movement point, which is the equivalent of another extra action. So that wolf technically required 4 hits to get killed 2 from her and 2 from him, technically that wolf would still be alive. So my apologies there. I've even played this before, and I didn't screw this up the first time I played it. Only Garridan has 4 movement points, and this guy has 4 movement. These two have 4 movement points. These two only have 3. Now, technically, what was supposed to happen is they were supposed to move 1, 2, 3. They were too far away to attack, so then they would have had to use another movement point or movement action, and so then they would have attacked once and then killed this thing, and then, of course, have 2 extra movement points left, and then they were next to that tree. So with the way it currently worked out, they're not going to be next to the tree. So it's not a big deal, but I technically gave them more than they should have had. Now, this guy, Cyrus, he's got 4 movement points, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and his wand has 4 range, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see he's got to move up 1 more space to be able to use it. And the problem with this is that it's going to put him in range to get attacked, but he'll move up 1 more space and go here, so he's next to the tree. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not going to move any closer, I don't think. I don't have to make that decision now. I can do that before he ends his turn. But Varix rolls orange dice. So here you can see he rolled 2 successes. Then this would let him convert. And then this would let him shift, which is a pointless skill for him at this point. So we're going to go ahead. He's attacking the Berserker. He's using his wand. And he got 2 successes. And it says the enemy's damage is permanently increased by 1. He's angry. So we did a whopping 3 damage to him. And that's it. Our turn's over. Because we did all the attack actions and moves and everything. And like I said, I cheated on the left side. That wolf should still be alive. So I'm going to go ahead and hit end phase. Oh. Okay. So at the top it says, I don't know if it's easy for you to read. It says resolve infection and terror. Those are things that you can have. This is a terror. That's an infection. Or I might have gotten it backwards. One of them causes you to gain fatigue. The other one causes you to gain damage. And so we don't have those on our cards, so we're okay. And in fact, I did get them backwards. And the terror causes you to get fatigued, and then the infection causes you to take damage. Infection being the green. Okay, so then every hero can discard 1 fatigue. So if they have a fatigue on their card, and they all do, they all get to discard 1. So that's done. Basically, I took 1 off of Varix because of the heal, 1 off of the Warhammer, and then I took 1 off the bow. And you get to choose which one you're removing. It could be either card. So go ahead and hit continue. All right, so the bandit wants to kill Cyrus. He's going to move 3 spaces, and he has a range of 2. During the defense, the first time the hero places a fatigue on a card, they also scar it. Scar just means that if you ever have to flip the card, you take 2 damage automatically. Okay, it's a serrated bolt, which means he's basically shooting a crossbow. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, and then Cyrus is 2 spaces away, so he is going to hit Cyrus. So he's going to do 5 damage to Cyrus, and we have to resolve that. I think. Yeah. And it shows you the damage calculation. He's just doing 5 base damage, but there's potential that it's getting increased for other reasons. All right, so Cyrus's defense die is just an orange die. And here you can see we got 1 success and 1 lightning bolt. So if we go to the lightning bolt, it says add 1 success and you may move 1 fatigue from 1 card to another. We don't have any fatigue, so we're okay. So we basically got 2 successes. And so with the 2 successes, we could take that 5 and it gets reduced to a 3. So he takes 3 damage. So he goes from 7 to 4 health. He just took a shot. And basically, like I said, during the defense, if he has to place a fatigue on a card, he also scars it. He didn't place any fatigue, so there's no scar. Now the Berserker is going, and he's going to move 4 spaces, and he's targeting Varix. And after the defense, the Berserker shifts 1 towards and attacks a second hero, if possible. But he wants to go after Varix first. That's his primary target. And if he can't do Varix, he'll pick another hero. So Varix is all the way over here, and a 1, 2, 3, 4 will get him to this target. Now, unfortunately, the problem with this is that he goes after whoever has the lowest health points. That's his priority. I think he might go after whoever's closest as well. I'm looking at his damage. He has 5 base damage. So the rulebook does cover this, and if the enemy cannot attack the displayed target, the hero who is closest. And then if there's multiple, then it chooses the one with the lowest health. So unfortunately, Bryn has 10 health, and Cyrus has 4. So this is enough to kill Cyrus, in fact. So Cyrus just rolled 2 of those. And here's the good news. Here, for 1 fatigue, he can convert one of these into 2 successes. So he will do that. And then he has another one, which he can't use this again. You can only use it once. Sorry, I'm pointing off the camera here. You can only use that skill once, which he did. So he's got 2 successes for that. But then the other one he can convert into a 3rd success, and he'll just put that on the weapon. So he's got 2 fatigue tokens now. Another gripe with the artwork is the fatigue blends in, to my eyes at least. So he blocked 3 of it, which means he only took 2 damage. And that's a huge success because he was going to die. So he's down to 2 health. All right. Now, but it says, though, after the defense, the Berserker shifts 1 space towards and attacks a second hero. So he went 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? He actually would have only gone 3. But then he would shift 1 more, and now he's attacking Galadin. And Galadin defends with a black die. And here you can see he got 1 success and 1 lightning bolt. The only lightning bolt he has says add a success. Then he can suffer to prepare a card. All that means is he'd have to take a fatigue, and then he can put a prepare token on, which means that he can flip without having to spend an action. We're not going to do that yet, but he does have 2 successes, so that means he takes 3 damage. So he goes from 9. This is playing out very differently than the last time I played this. All right, it's already a different game. And then the bandit crouches low, daggers out, and beckons you forward with a flick of their rusted tips. So usually when you see that message, it means he's got some kind of defensive stance. So the moment that you try to attack the bandit, he's going to do something to you. All right, so now it's our turn again, and we start over. So what do? I got a guy that's almost dead, that if he attacks the bandit, I might as well consider myself dead. I got guys who are cheaters over here on the left. So what do? Well, I think we know that the bandit is susceptible to arrows, so we're going to shoot the bandit with Galadin's arrows. So let's do that. First action for Galadin is he's going to shoot the bandit, and he does that with a blue dice. You can see he rolled a lightning bolt, which just simply means he can add one success. So that's one success. And since the bandit is 3 spaces away, he's going to add another fatigue to his bow to make it 2 successes. So it's not super exciting, but it should be enough to kill the bandit though. So I'm going to attack the bandit with the bow. And right here, after the attack, he's going to shift 2 away again. We got 2 successes. And there it is, 5 damage. And the bandit crumples to the ground. So the bandit is gone. All right, so all we got left is the berserker. So Galadin's going to use his other action to attack the berserker. I'm going to use the bow, and we're going to roll that blue die. Roll that beautiful beam footage. All right, so it is 1 success with the lightning bolt, which turns into another success. So he has 2 successes, and that's it. He's completely fatigued out. He did 6 damage, and we found a weakness. So this guy's weak to pierce as well. And so he's down to 9 health. Then we're going to go ahead. He's not going to move. We're going to stay at the tree. This guy is going to attack the berserker. He's got the wand. He could switch to his melee weapon. That's an interesting one. It would cost me a whole action to do. So I'm just going to use the wand. And here you can see his damage is going to be permanently increased by 1. So we're going to use the orange die here. And I rolled a 1, an advantage. So we're going to take so we're taking one of these, which turns that advantage into 2 successes. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then we have a lightning bolt, which is another success. And then he may move a fatigue from one card to another. So he's going to move his fatigue over to the weapon. So he has 1 success, and then 2, and then the lightning bolt makes it 3. So he has 4 total successes. It's only a 2 damage weapon. This guy's down to 1 health. And then we're going to finish him off with the wand. And I did almost the exact same thing, except I'm not going to take any fatigue. I'm just going to do 2 successes. And then he crumbles to the ground. And then, boom, all this other stuff shows up. So we got a chest, the gateway, there's a door, and then, and then the well. So I'm going to go ahead and put the well out. Then we have a chest. And I got to get the door out there too. There you go. Update. Enter the watchtower. So now we got things that are going to have tests and all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot to do, Scooby-Doo. All right, so this guy's dead. Both of these guys have done their full action. I am not going to move either of them. They're going to both stay next to the tree. This guy is going to move 1, 2, and then this one's going to move 1, 2, 3. They're both next to the tree. Which one has the better might or agility? So this one has the better might. Nobody has good agility. Okay. All right. So I move first with this one. So he has 2 actions, or she, Bryn. So I'm going to take Bryn here and move her to the tree. And there you can see we got the tree is round with green fruit on the lower branches, plants and mushrooms growing up the side, and a sturdy trunk. Okay, so I'm going to climb the tree. I have to test might. Now, tests in this game are relatively straightforward. You just roll 2 black dice. You can see there's 3, and that's 4. And then the lightning bolt you can still use, which this says add 1. So it becomes 5, Then it says an adjacent hero may discard 1 fatigue. So this guy could discard 1. He will. So we got 5 successes. So you just come over here and you punch it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he swings up and he can prepare 2 cards. Now, so far, climbing up the tree has always led to this result. I'm not sure if there's other results out there, but so now she can flip these cards without having to do an action. And I guess that's powerful, but the big thing is I can now flip to, like, I'm using a crushed weapon, and we know that some of those monsters have a vulnerability to slash. So I can switch to the sword without having to spend an action. And I think that's pretty cool. Another rule of the game is if you have junk on here, when you flip a card, all the tokens that are on the card get removed from the game. So it's actually a way of healing yourself from these. So if you had these crappy infections, on your weapon or on your person, all you have to do is flip the card, and then the infections get cleaned. I still prefer the idea of having a cleric character that does that through their skills. I think that that's a more wholesome way to play, but it does get rid of some of those archetypes. I can understand it. The flippity-do is still suspect. All right, the other one we're going to do is, I'm going to look at that tree again, and we're going to forge the plants.
This is ours by right of salvage.
This is ours by right of salvage, yeah. That's what BLM said when they burned down the target, too. Okay, the following has been added to your inventory to be used later. So we got 8 herbs. Those are generic. 3 minerals, also generic. Broken bottles, a little bit less generic. And then 4 herbs from some fireweed, which herbs are herbs. So we got 12 herbs. That's really all that's saying. But yeah, we looted some stuff, and we can use it for crafting. And that's the part that, can be really helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. Turns over. Now we moved up with this dude. This dude took some damage. So we're going to go ahead and look at that tree. We're going to pick the fruit. And lo and behold, it says heal 2. So now he's healed to full health. So he's back up to 8. All right. So he got to heal 2. And by the way, that's always been the same outcome with these trees, at least. All right. But he has one more action left. And so we're going to go ahead and have him move 1, 2, 3. And now he's next to the well. And he's out of actions. So we have to end our phase. So I'm going to go ahead and end the phase. Darkness phase is happening. And it's saying resolve infection and terror. And then each hero can discard 1 fatigue. So I'm just looking at all their cards. And I'm taking 1 off the mage. And of course 1 off the Bryn. And then the elf here has a million of them. We'll get him off his weapon first. And this is where, if the elf could just flip this card, all 3 of these just go away. And so you could argue, well, why wouldn't you do that? Well, it costs you an action. I mean, I got a whole bunch of other actions I'd rather be doing. But if you can prepare the cards, then maybe it's not so bad. And that's exactly what we're going to possibly do here. I'm going to instead have Varix go. And Varix, his might is -1. Galadin's might is +1. So we'll have Galadin climb the tree. And so I'm going to roll for his might. So 3, 4, 5. And then you get to add the might, which is 1 more for 6. I didn't even do that. You get to add 2 more when I was doing it with her. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then boom, gets to prepare 2 cards. So now both of these cards can flip at any time. So trees are cool that way. And then should we do one more thing? Yes, we should. Um, we're going to go ahead and forage the plants. Yes. And there we go. So now we got 11 leather, which is nothing to sneeze at, some medium, and 1 Ignos. Now that is a rare item, Ignos. That was a really good one. So it is officially searched. And then, of course, we have 4 movement points. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and finish next to Varix. And then this tile here that's been annoying me, I'm going to take out of the game because we're never going back there. And that's what you probably saw at the end of when I started the game, that these were missing. And now you know why. As soon as we advance off of these tiles, I don't need them anymore. So I'm getting them out of the way so I have room for my characters and my camera. And now we're going to move on to Cyrus here, our magician. He's got one more thing to do with this tree. He's going to pick the fruit. And there you see, he's going to heal 2. And Cyrus, of course, being the one that really needed to heal, he's going to go to 3 and 4. So he's at 4 out of 7 health. Galadin is at 6 out of 9. The other 2 are full health. Okay, and then he will move 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. And that brings us to the end of the round. I'm going to go ahead and hit end phase. So everybody resolves infection and terror, and then everybody loses 1 fatigue. So the fatigue is currently only on 2 of my characters at the moment. But yeah, they're losing some of that fatigue that we earned when we were in the middle of the battle. And so here's our situation. Varix can take 2 fatigue, and he will. And he can heal somebody next to him for 2 damage. So should it be Galadin or should it be Cyrus? I think I'm going to choose Cyrus because he was the most damaged. So now he's up to 6 health. That was not an action. It was just a fatigue thing. It's sort of like a freebie. Actions will have like a little arrow next to them. Then we get this well. I don't remember what happened at the well. I truly don't. I know you need might if you go to the treasure chest. And this guy does not have might. So we're going to use both of his actions to look at this well. Yeah, here we are. So where's he at? He's going to go. So here you can see there's toss a coin to the Witcher. Summon healing. We don't want to do that. We're going to drink from the well? Yeah, drinking won't be bad. I know what this one does. Yeah, he discards 2 fatigue. So he just took 2 fatigue to heal somebody, right? And so he could heal somebody again with it. But we're not going to at the moment. And then he's going to move 1, 2, 3 for his movement. He still technically has 1 action left. He could use this to flip a card. This might be the one time where I would consider doing it because I don't want to open that door yet. As soon as you open that door, bad guys start coming. And I'm not ready for bad guys yet. I want to finish exploring first. And yes, this is called turtling. The game does let you turtle a few times, but that is something I like about it. Descent Journeys in the Dark did not let you turtle. This is Legends of the Dark. I'm going to move this tree out of the way because we're finished picking it apart. Same with this one. I'm going to go ahead and go with Bryn here. And I can go 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. And then she's going to try to open that chest. So that's 4, 5, 6 might. I'm assuming it's going to be might. Let's see if my assumption was correct. Test might. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Good. Rub it.
All right, so we got 5 metal, medium, 2 taros, very good, 15 minerals, basic, some incense and candles, and then a feather ornament recipe. I don't even know what the feather ornament thing is, but
They take
we got it.
No, we take it.
And the following item has been added to your inventory to be used later. A lunar spear. Holy cow. What is that? That could be one of Varix's items. It said lunar spear, right? Look at that. He got an actual weapon that he could use. It's got reach, it's slashing. And so the last one, that looks like quite an upgrade from the weapon he currently has. Let's just show you. So he's got the Riverwatch spear. So although enfeebling the enemy is really good. This one, for a surge, you add 2, and then another surge, add 2 more. And you can prepare or focus a card. All right, and then it does 1 extra damage, which is also nice. So we have this in our inventory, but we can't equip it or use it. That's the weird thing. You can only do that when you're in between missions. So last time, we got a wand for Cyrus. So that is random, what you get out of there. The wand for Cyrus was actually much better in terms of upgrade potential. I think a bow for Galadin would be much better as well. But we'll take it, everything's good. And then what you'll see is there's a inventory here. And then this is all the crafting materials. And then down here, these are weapon parts. But you can see we got this feather ornament, which is used by Cyrus. The attack gains Ignos, which is fire, damage type. And in order to make this item, because all we have is the recipe, we need 3 Curios and 1 Vigos. But we did find an Ignos. Remember I told you that was rare? I mean, look, you need just 1. We got the leather. The Curios we're going to get. The Vigos is really hard to find. I didn't find it at all, in fact, the last time I played. And then, of course, you got the different weapons that everybody has. This is that lunar spear that we just found. And you can click on a character, and then it reduces it to just what they have. So you can see he's got 3 weapons right now, although only 2 of them are equipped. So, pretty cool. And then you'll notice the chest disappeared. So it was a one-time deal. And then moving things back to the way it was. I'm taking these tiles away. And I'm taking this away. And now we got some breathing room. All right, we're still not done. We have Galadin, who's going to look into the well. And we want him to search for his reflection. Oh, there was a healing last time. Interesting. So we're going to test his insight, which is a -1. That's not very good. He got 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's not going to take the fatigue for 5, 6. So he only got 3. He can prepare 2 cards. He's already got cards prepared, so that was a waste. Then he's going to look at it again. Water is murky, no longer safe to consume. So there's nothing more to do. It's done. So they gave him an additional action, if you may have noticed. So he will move his 1, 2, 3. And then we can open the door. 2 of our characters are done and can't go. I'm going to move this guy at least forward 2 spaces, and then we're going to end our turn one more time, and then we'll go. And that'll let us get rid of one more fatigue off of all of our cards. Everybody's active and ready to go. And one character does have to open that door, which costs an action. I'm pretty sure that costs an action. I'm at an hour and 30, so I'm going to end the video here. And then what we'll do is we'll open that door and take on whatever's on the other side. They keep figuring out what's going on with this watchtower, because the watchtower was supposed to be in Allied hands, but it is under attack. So far, we've cleared out the outside. We were able to turtle a little bit. The items I found have been very different. Like some of the basic crafting materials, sure, you're always going to find, leather or some of the basic herbs or whatever. But completely different item dropped for the characters. That well had a healing option, and the first person who went there was full health, so I didn't pick it, and then I never got it again. I really wanted Galadin to heal himself. So I never had a chance to do that. I could have used Varix, in fact, to heal. In fact, I am going to retcon that. Varix will heal somebody. He's going to heal Galadin for 2. And so Varix has 2 fatigue tokens on him, but one of them got taken away because we just ended a turn. And that's why you want to do it. Basically, Varix, every 2 rounds, you can heal somebody, as long as he's next to them. So yeah, we're going to end the video here, and then we can continue the rest of this next time. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome.